Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 17. I have a show and tell. Mustard seeds. It's very small. Here's one. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Maybe even a 1/16 of an inch. Yeah, it's more like a 1/16 of an inch. As you can see right there. This would be 1/8 if it took up the whole thing. Let's try another one. That looks more like 1/8, but the first one looked like about a 1/16 of an inch. There's another 1/16 of an inch. Chapter 17. Seeing they all fit in this little copper. Not all of them, there's too many. Isn't that cute? And after 6 days, Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into an high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias, talking with him. That's Isaiah, right? Are people gonna, is this supposed to be Elisha? I think it's Isaiah. I can't tell. You know why? Because I think there's other names for Elias. Elisha, Elisa, not Elisa, but Elisha. I have to look that up. But for right now, because this is starting to, you have to figure this out, because it's starting to sound like the two witnesses, right? And people say that's Moses and Enoch. So I don't know who this Elias is. I thought I had it down that it has to be Isaiah. But now I'm not sure. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Jesus came and touched them and said, Arise, and be not afraid. And so, I guess this is kind of scarier than sinking in the water, but they're not blaming them for having any little faith, but they are hearing the voice of God in a cloud. So that might be more scary. But you see, Peter is having to take responsibility for this faith thing. But you could say to these two people, who is it? Oh, it's Peter again, and James and John. Well, I'm glad they didn't blame Peter again for falling on his face, and were sore afraid. And Jesus came and touched them and said, Arise, be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Jesus only. And as they came down from the mountain, Jesus charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man. This is the 4th time he's done this, right? 4th time telling people not to tell anybody stuff. But you know what? Yeah, okay, the last time he told him don't tell everybody that he was Jesus Christ, right? Now this is the fourth time to the disciples. He told regular people 2 times. People he healed. The 2 blind people, the multitude, and now this time, this is the disciples have been told twice now, don't tell anybody, tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. Because he's getting it. These people are after him. They're hunting him down, these Pharisees and Sadducees, and they're not going to stop at anything. So he's continuing to let people know, even his closest, right? Okay. This might kind of be why Peter may have gotten, because he was really prepared for this about the faith thing. He already went through the water thing. He heard God in the cloud thing. Okay. And his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Sadducees and the Pharisees. And the Jews. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. Oh. Elias. They call him John the Baptist Elias. Kind of seemed like it before, too. Oh, you know what? This is a totally different word. Before, they were talking about Esaias. Oh, I am totally mixed up. Excuse me. In like chapter 13, they're talking about Esaias. That's Isaiah. Excuse me. This is a whole different person. Hold on. Be really careful. Okay, look. That is not Esaias. This guy's name is Elias. Oh my gosh. Okay. This guy's name here is Elias. And maybe he's John the Baptist. Okay. And the other guy's name was Esaias, right? I can't find it. Yeah, Esaias. That's Isaiah. They're talking about some other guy here. I take it back. You should be very careful. These are like transposed letters almost, but there's no L. There's an extra letter. There's no... You know what? Okay. Let's read that again. And his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? Right? Okay. This is important here, because this may have to do with the 2 witnesses in Revelation. we can't mix up Isaiah with Elias, who it says, and his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but they have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. So this must be Elias. I don't know why they're saying his name like this, but obviously it's like hundreds of years later or something. It's different people and language. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down for him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Jesus apart and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Jesus said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, mustard seeds, guys, mustard seeds, 1/16 of an inch. That's the smallest marking on like a regular ruler. Actually, rulers usually just do 1/8 of an inch, but this is a fancy one. This is a fancy one. And you can see this is an 1/8 inch. Here's the 16th inch mustard seed right there. But here's the 1/8 inch that rulers usually are. And you can see it just takes up half. Oh wait, let me pull it. Don't touch that camera. Pull that forward. Now it's at a bad angle, but you can see there's room for a whole nother mustard seed there. It's a 1/16 of an inch. Whoop. There it goes, rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay. Oh my gosh. I hope that doesn't happen again. Apologies. Because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out by my prayer and fasting. Oh, excuse me. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. You didn't say my prayer and fasting. So, I just figured something out here that, well, for years, well, not years, well, it has to do with how to exorcise demons. And you can, this passage says, well, yeah, that's why you might be having trouble. This is a tough demon, and you have to be deep in prayer and in fasting, right? You understand? You can't say the Old Testament is nothing. Jesus is going around feeding. It's a lot about food, right? Everybody needs to eat, right? And he's doing, there's like 5 things already about food, right? About the Pharisees trying to bitch him out about picking corn and eating on Shabbat. Like they don't eat on Shabbat, right? They do. Yeah, they do. But the reason this is important is because, okay, we may know that, oh, we've heard this before. Maybe that's why some things, demons, it's not just prayer. You have to be very faithful. You even have to fast, right? That's why it's like you're not throwing out the Old Testament, right? Look what Esther did, right? Look what they all did um, on the feast days, right? When they're supposed to like fast and they're following the commandments and doing the statutes and stuff like that. Okay, he's bringing it forward. Jesus is fasting. I don't think these people may have even asked about it or something. That's what I want to bring up. Well, he's not like saying to them, you don't have enough faith to cast them out. It's like we hear this thing, you can move a mountain if you have faith, right? But perhaps what's going on is part of the reason their faith is not strong is, okay, I doubt that they're eating like pork and stuff like that, right? They're not eating unclean things, right? They're following the Lord. They're not like they're eating what he's eating, but at the same time, they may not be fasting. I just realized that. Because he's really hard on them, and it's not like that could be the one aspect Jesus is concentrating on. Like, this is due to the fact that actually, you're pretty good with the prayer part, but if you had taken that step further, he doesn't say like me, right? I don't know why I even added that up. I even put that in there, but it was good because now I'm realizing it. Maybe not because of that, but it may be kind of like an unspoken thing. Like he's kind of teaching him this, but he can't like tell people. He has to he's showing by example, but they may be eating more than him, or they're not really like, okay, for instance, right, when he's going kind of off alone to go into the desert, even though they're supposed to the desert part of the sea, they're probably eating, they're doing something when he's not there, and the most likely thing that they're doing, if you were to think about it, because they're not committing any horrible sins, right, or they would not be hanging around him, but they could be eating. I think that's what this is about. And then look, why are we even talking about mustard seeds anyway? Right? And this whole thing so far, it's 17 chapters now. In Matthew, it has a lot to do with nourishment. It has to do with food, right? Or so people can translate that into the word of God, which is the food, right? Which is the point of this, right? Because what are these disciples doing so bad? They are not doing anything, nothing crazy, or they would not be hanging around him, right? There's only one thing, right? It's eating. Because he wouldn't even like let them get drunk, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure they got drunk a couple times, but not really. So it's the food. It's the food. So you see what he says? That's what I think. This is how I see it. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. Wow. Okay. And while they abode in Galilee, Jesus said unto them, the Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again. And they were exceeding sorry. Wow, that came kind of quick. Man. Yeah, these people are on him. They're unrelenting. They're just following him. These bad Sanballat Tobias type lawyers that we read about in the Old Testament. And there's two more. I wrote their names down. It made me really mad because you know what? I know the story of Jesus kind of, pretty. I do, right? I have not read this word by word, in order, like now until now, maybe. But in the Old Testament, it's in like Nehemiah and Ezra, right? They made me really mad. These two lawyers, the council. Here it is, Tobias and Sanballat lawyers. There's somebody else. There are two more. They made me mad. And you know what? This is the whole thing. This is what it's about. These hypocrites, these absolute effing hypocrites. And you know, in Romans, it says God is the judge and lawyers, not man. Or it says something like that. Or the lawmakers or the lawgivers. And not man. It says it. So, that's it in a nutshell. That's how I see it right now. Yeah, let's go. The Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again. And they were exceeding sorry. And when they were come to Capernaum, there's that place again. That's a bad place. Remember in the beginning, there was 3 places, and I thought that was Rome. But we find out that it's all in near Jerusalem. And he was saying how bad that place is. I'm just going to leave it alone. But he's back there in this place. But this was one of the 3 places. It was Capernaum, Bethsaida, right? And it was something else. And he said, you are just worse off than Sodom and Gomorrah. Or you may as well just... He had nothing good to say about these 3 cities. And for some reason, now we are back here. And maybe in the back of my head, I know this is a very bad place, but let's just move on. They that received tribute money came to Peter and said, doth not your master pay tribute? These are the Romans, huh? See, doesn't Capernaum sound like Roman? That's why I thought it, huh? Yeah, now he's getting jacked up. Now he's getting walking jacked. He can't walk. They can't walk anywhere. Pay the toll. Pay the tribute. We're walking jacking you. He saith yes, and when he was come into the house, Jesus prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon, of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, of strangers. Jesus saith unto him, then are the children free. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea, and cast an hook, and take up the fish that first cometh up. And when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money. That take and give unto them for me and thee. That is so cool. I guess it would have been too much to say exactly how much silver it was, but maybe we'll find out. But that's pretty exciting. Lots of fish in this story, too. We hear a lot about fish and bread. And heard about the mustard seed. Wow, how exciting. Ooh, it's so exciting.